beautiful picture. Now, the Dolly Parton song comes to mind when I hear Jolene.
Jolene, Jolene.
Did that have any impact on your naming her?
It was because of that song. Something's not right. Jolene's not answering. Not hearing from Jolene on Mother's Day? On her birthday?
She started doing her little Houdini acts. And I thought she was just seeing somebody else.
Urgent search for a missing mother in Nassau County.
What do you think happened to Jolene? Well, she's hanging out with these bad dudes, bad crowd.
Sounds like she had trouble with figuring out men.
She did. First thought was the boyfriend, had done something.
And this is your opportunity here to clear your name, and you're acting like this jackass.
I had nothing to do with Jolene being missing. I love her. I miss her.
At some point, Jolene confides in you some thoughts, some suspicions.
It is the actual moment where we perceived we are looking at something more sinister. Who is that figure that walks across in the darkness?
You could see them walk around the building just as I did, and then they go ahead and enter the building.
No one had any idea how truly unhinged that she was.
When I saw the video, hair on the back of my neck stand up moment.
Nestled on the tip of Amelia Island sits North Florida's Fernandina Beach. With its shrimp boats bobbing in the harbor next to oak-shaded streets, both tourists and locals come to savor the island life.
I would describe Fernandina Beach as a small area that a lot of people come to visit. It's very welcoming.
It's kind of like a hippie beach town. We have a shrimp drop where we have a big lit up shrimp, and they drop it just like they do New Year's at the ball with the ball. You have all the pirate ships. There's even Pippi Longstocking's house is down in Old Town.
That house was made famous in the 1988 film The New Adventures of Pippi Longstocking, based on the children's book.
Hello. Come on, Pippi.
Our crime rate in Nassau County is very low when you compare to our surrounding areas.
But on Mother's Day in May of 2018, Jolene Cummings, a single mom of 3, never arrives to pick up her children from her ex-husband, Jason Cummings. Evening is now falling over northern Florida, and Jolene's 2 young sons are waiting in a grocery store parking lot with their dad. The minutes tick by, but their mom never arrives to pick them up.
And it was her birthday, and it was Mother's Day weekend. She always wanted to spend that time with her kids.
What were her plans as far as you knew?
It would have been the first time that she would have been able to celebrate Mother's Day and her birthday with the boys, and she would be at my house.
Why in the world would this mom suddenly disappear on such a big day? Those close to her say that as a young, working, single mother, Jolene would often feel overwhelmed and take off, making time for herself. Might she have just gone off and
No.
done something without telling you?
Has Jolene gone off in the past? Oh, yes. Have I been able to contact her? Yes.
Did you have a feeling?
Yeah. Yeah, not hearing from Jolene on Mother's Day, on her birthday. Yes, I had this gut-wrenching feeling all day. And I told my husband, I need to call this in. He said, no, Ann, wait till tomorrow. So at 8 o'clock on Monday morning, I called.
8:08 a.m., Ann Johnson contacted the sheriff's office and reported that her adult daughter, Jolene Cummings, was missing. She stated that no one had heard from Jolene for at least 2 days. I was named the lead investigator on this case. It was urgent to me from the start. While it's certainly not uncommon for an adult to, go missing or take off for a couple of days, there were some things that really concerned Miss Johnson about it.
Her daughter would have spent Saturday at the Tangles hair salon where she had worked for 6 years.
So Tangles is a salon that's right on the edge of Yulee and Fernandina Beach. It's in a shopping center. There are multiple chairs, multiple stylists working there, day in and day out.
Hi, ladies.
Hey.
Deborah.
I'm Brittany.
Brittany, nice to meet you.
I'm Jill.
Hey, Jill.
Nice to
meet you.
She was my hairdresser. That's how we met.
Somebody said that she was kind of a hairapist.
Yeah.
Like a therapist, but doing hair.
Yeah, absolutely, because she would always give you the best advice.
Now, what was she like as a mom? Because on the one hand, she had this creative career, but then she was also a pretty young mom.
She was there to support them.
I think she grew up and she didn't get to do the things that other kids got to do sometimes. So she really wanted to make sure her daughter did everything that she didn't get to do.
Those boys and her daughter were just the love of her life. The place that she was living in was my brother-in-law's. It wasn't the best, but she was saving to move.
I wanted to go to Jolene's home to find out where she lived and to see if there were any clues there, anything there that might give me an idea where she might be. Jolene's stepfather gave me access to the home. When I went inside, there were cabinets that were hanging by one hinge. It appeared as if somebody had actually punched and kicked holes in the wall. This evidence was very worrisome for a person who's gone missing.
It's clearly a disturbing and suspicious scene, and there's one person investigators want to talk to, Jolene's ex-husband, Jason Cummings.
Anytime someone goes missing, you have a list of people that you probably want to talk to. Exes are always at the top of that list.
Jason and Jolene had somewhat of a rocky relationship.
There was an injunction in place between Jolene and her ex-husband, a no violence injunction that said there'd be no violence between the two individuals. Jason he made it obvious that it was contentious about custody of the kids, that the court had not decided yet.
Texts between the former couple reveal a volatile relationship, with Jolene once writing, "These kids have seen and heard enough," and Jason responding, "See you in court, Jolene." And in another text, Jason writes, "I hate you, and tomorrow you will hate me. I promise that."
They still had an amicable relationship. They worked together for the love of the children.
We wanted to talk to him, see if he knows anything, knows about where she may be or has seen her.
I made contact with Jason Cummings via phone. I scheduled him to come in the next morning to do an interview at the sheriff's office.
It's now Tuesday, 2 days since Jolene was last seen, and her ex-husband, Jason Cummings, is sitting in the Nassau County Sheriff's Office with Detective Harrington.
She is my ex-wife. I love her. I mean, she's my kid's mom.
Telling him how Jolene's happy exterior hid a darker side of her personality.
She's angry most of the time, but she's also happy at us. She's the type of woman that wouldn't let you know. You could see it on her face, but she wouldn't tell you what was bothering her.
When Jason Cummings is answering these questions, he did let police know that it wasn't uncommon for Jolene to sometimes disappear without explanation.
But I was like, look, we need to get it together. You know, this right here is the reason why I left her, because she would disappear for a few days. She started doing her little Houdini acts, and I thought she was just seeing somebody else.
Jason Cummings let police know that he had an alibi for the day that Jolene went missing. He was with the kids, and he had his parents that he was around who could verify that.
And where did you go with that when you left there? Kids ate, we all ate. Granny and Papa, while they were getting ready for church, me and the kids went out there and there were the floors, you know.
The dad of Jolene's two youngest kids then steers investigators in a completely different direction, mentioning somebody else close to his ex-wife.
He said, if you're gonna look at anybody, you need to look at this new guy she's dating. He's not a good guy.
She's hanging out with these bad dudes, bad crowd.
Now, the Dolly Parton song comes to mind when I hear Jolene. Did that have any impact on your naming her?
Yeah, it was because of that song.
Jolene, Jolene, Jolene.
Dolly Parton's song is Jolene. And I found the Joleen, which meant pretty. That fit her because when she was born, she had the eyes of green and her hair was auburn.
Skin and eyes of emerald green.
urgent search for a missing mother in Nassau County.
Our Julia Janae is live at the state attorney's office.
At the time of Jolene Cummings' disappearance, I was an investigative reporter for First Coast News, the ABC affiliate there in Jacksonville.
The mother of Jolene Cummings, who said she's heartbroken.
We will continue to search for Jolene. We have searched for her utilizing all of our resources, including canines, horses, and boats.
People are talking about it like crazy. They're asking questions. They're wanting answers.
So days go by, nothing. What are you thinking?
It was the most horrible time of my life. I was searching, friends were searching, my husband was searching with me.
Constant alerts on the news and that she was being searched for. People were asked to keep an eye out for Jolene's vehicle.
Those with any information about where Cummings is urged to call the Nassau County Sheriff's Office.
What did you think?
I just stopped. I was frozen. I didn't know what to think.
I thought that this is not my Jolene. This has to be somebody else. And then I went online to look it up, and sure enough, it was her picture, and I just had a sinking feeling.
Now, detectives are ready to interview their very first person of interest, and that would be Jolene's ex-husband, Jason Cummings. These two had a volatile relationship.
What do you think happened to Jolene? Me personally, I hope that she's not going to be found, and now she's got all this attention on her, she's probably scared. Is that your hope, or is that your thought? What is my hope?
But while he's in the hot seat, Cummings tells Detective Harrington that he should be looking at another Jason in Jolene's life.
I just know his first name's Jason. I've never met him. I got text messages from other people saying he's bad news.
When I asked him about, why he was so concerned about this person, he just said that he had a criminal history. He was very concerned about Jolene, and more specifically, being around a type of person like that.
And I'm hoping she'll pop up any minute and say, hey, you're here. I hope we're spending a lot of time for, no reason. While she's hanging out with these bad dudes, bad crowd, she shouldn't be doing this crap.
After police completed their questioning,
I appreciate it.
Jason Cummings was able to leave the Nassau County Sheriff's Office.
After checking out Jason Cummings' alibis, he was cleared of any wrongdoing. The next person of interest that we wanted to look at is her current boyfriend, who she had broken up with, Jason G.
When Jolene had gone missing, I had heard that she had had a boyfriend who was not the best of news.
It sounds like while she might have been bright and airy, she had trouble with figuring out men.
She did. She had been married and divorced. A boyfriend, I believe he's had kind of some trouble with the law.
A record.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Jolene also liked the underdog. Irrelevant what their past was.
Jolene wanted to fix people, and I think that's really why she dated him.
Jason G. had a outstanding warrant from Nassau County. As a matter of fact, it was a felony warrant for a violation of probation, and he was wanted by the Nassau County Sheriff's Office.
But he wasn't a stranger to law enforcement.
He had previously had arrests for drug offenses, for domestic.
Jason G. was in fact convicted of several drug offenses, but not that alleged domestic violence charge. That was dropped.
There was a report also with Jolene and Jason G. getting into an altercation, a domestic violence situation at their home a couple days prior to this.
Jason G. had come over to the house and had wanted to spend the night with Jolene. Jolene was concerned it would cause problems with her divorce. Jason G. got very angry to the point that he started destroying items in the house.
For investigators, Jolene's allegations explain all that physical damage they saw inside her home.
Next on their list, police are really eager to talk to Jason G., but he is nowhere to be found.
We had a difficult time. We looked, it took a little while to track Jason G. down. It appeared from, trying to check his cell phone that he was only turning it on occasionally when he needed to, and that he was turning it off so that he couldn't be tracked. I don't think he was staying in one location very long.
He didn't have a means of transportation, so we knew he was probably in the Hilliard area. However, his parents lived in Jacksonville on the north side.
With all that, we did get a warrant to try to locate him by pinging his phone. He was found hiding under a bunch of cardboard boxes in a bedroom. So it was very, very suspicious to us. You know, he was a prime suspect when we did the interview.
When the interrogation of Jason G. starts, it begins with the detective keeping his tone pretty calm, his demeanor pretty calm.
Can we go just kind of back to the beginning and tell me, how you guys got together, where you met?
That's a little over a year ago. We went to school together, didn't never know each other, but I went over to a party and we just got together and just clicked.
But now cops are ready to take off the kid gloves. The temperature inside of that interrogation room heats up.
You're hiding out.
I just found out about Jolene being missing yesterday. I honestly love her. I would never hurt her.
But it's time up for Jason G. Detectives see something that makes them wonder whether he had gone one step too far.
You got some scratches on your wrist and everything. To me, they looked a lot like fingernail scratches, which really, really concerned me.
This is your opportunity here to clear your name, and you're acting like a jackass.
So things aren't looking so good for Jason G. But then, a new piece of evidence emerges that just deepens this mystery.
We want to know, who is that figure that walks across in the darkness?
Mother of three, Jolene Cummings, has seemingly vanished from her North Florida town, setting off alarm bells within the small community.
The hairdresser community was really just completely in shock. Watching Jolene's disappearance play out on TV, it was stressful.
She never showed up to pick up her kids yesterday on Mother's Day.
Cummings was last seen leaving work at the Tangles Hair Salon on Saturday around 5 p.m.
Florida's Nassau County Sheriff's investigators are racing against the clock to figure out what happened to the hairdresser. Remember, they've got her ex-boyfriend Jason G. under arrest in an unrelated case, and he's being interrogated.
When we find Jason G. and he's brought in for the interview, I mean, we're really looking at him as, this is probably our suspect.
You always want to give someone the benefit of a doubt just because of their history, but with everything involved, it just seemed like a pretty good suspect to look at the time.
Do me a favor, let me hold your hands up like this. He had marks on his hands and his arms. To me, they looked a lot like fingernail scratches, which really, really concerned me. You got some scratches on your wrist and everything. Tell me about those.
We had a dog I played with at the house.
They are really looking closely to see, could this have been a struggle with a person?
I got one on there from the dental branches at my dad's that happened like a week ago.
Detective Harrington asks about that alleged domestic violence incident and the disturbing scene at Jolene's home.
He stated that the last time he saw Jolene was when he was at the house and the altercation occurred. And I went over there to see what was in the house. There was some cabinets broken, there was some holes and stuff. Did that happen that night?
I had slammed the cabinet shut when we was arguing.
And what about there was some holes in the door?
She actually took a hammer to the door. And we were arguing. That was 4 or 5 months ago.
During the interrogation, Jason G. tells the detectives that he lost his phone. Now that's a red flag for detectives. They're thinking, oh, come on, who doesn't have their phone with them all the time these days?
Well, it's time for you to come clean and tell us what you did with it.
I didn't do nothing with it.
Then where's your phone?
It's at my cousin's and my dad's. So I've been there.
Which one is it?
Jason G has an answer for why he doesn't have his cell phone, because he's actually been trying to run from police and doesn't want them to ping his phone because of that outstanding parole violation warrant.
I told you, the reason I was behind, I didn't want to come to jail. Ever since I've had this warrant, I've had my battery taken out of my phone. I've had nothing to do with this. I've been fucking on with y'all. I told y'all can call my cousin and my dad, they will tell you where I've been at the past 3 days.
Jason G says that he has an alibi for where he was, and not just for the day that Jolene went missing, but the entire weekend.
He had stated he was having a barbecue down in North Jacksonville.
I went to sleep, I slept till about 10 or 11. We went back over there and hung out the rest of the day. They stayed there till Sunday. Sunday, I went home Sunday night.
Maybe Jason G does come across as volatile, a little rough around the edges. But Detective Harrington notices that when G talks about Jolene, he's calmer. His voice softens.
I wouldn't hurt her. I wouldn't cause any harm or any discomfort to her. Well, I texted her later that night and tried to get hold of her. Then I texted her Sunday morning and told her Happy Mother's Day and Happy Birthday.
I gotta tell you, I'm not buying what you're telling me.
I know you ain't believing that. I said, but I'm telling you the truth, man. I had nothing to do with Jolene being missing. I love her. I miss her. I want her to be okay.
He no way convinced me after the interview that he was innocent, but in the back of my mind, I did think he seemed like he really was concerned about Jolene's well-being and whereabouts.
Police take more pictures and then book G on the probation violation charge, but he's still only a suspect in Jolene's disappearance.
In the Nassau County Sheriff's Office, they take the approach of getting the public involved. They start putting out the flyers with her picture on it.
Press release was stating that Jolene Cummings was missing. It also described her vehicle, a gold tan in color Ford Expedition with a tag number.
It was sent out to local news media. We just want to saturate the area.
Now at 11, a renewed push in the search for a missing local mother.
The Nassau County Sheriff's Department put out a Facebook post asking anyone with information about her whereabouts.
Investigators have put out a BOLO. Now that's cop speak for be on the lookout for. And guess what? One observant tipster calls in to say he thinks that he's seen an SUV just like Jolene's sitting in a local Home Depot parking lot.
The day after we put the BOLO out, I got a call from a citizen that thought he had seen it here in the parking lot. We responded here immediately and did determine by both tag and VIN that it was indeed Jolene's vehicle. One of the first things I noticed was that the driver's door was unlocked. All the other doors were locked. Just looking at it from outside, I didn't notice anything obvious. I didn't notice any blood, any damage. Once we located the vehicle outside the Home Depot, I instructed several detectives to start canvassing the area to see if there was any video surveillance.
There is a ViStar credit union that I had worked off duty at. I knew that their cameras faced in that direction.
That credit union surveillance camera captures investigative gold and leads to the second big break in the case.
When we looked at the camera angles, we determined that shortly after 1 a.m. on Sunday morning, the vehicle comes up the approach road off of State Road 200 from the direction of the salon and is immediately pulled into the parking area. You cannot see who's driving it at that point in time. And then you can see a figure emerge and walk across the screen towards the right.
Everyone is hoping that it's Jolene getting out of that car. Then, a minute later, a figure is visible in the doorway of a nearby convenience store.
It was kind of like that hair on the back of my neck stand-up moment because I was like, this is who I'm looking for.
Hairdresser and mom Jolene Cummings has been missing for 3 days now, and Florida's Nassau County Sheriff's detectives are working several leads. One of them is Jolene's ex-boyfriend, Jason G., who tells police he's got an alibi. He says he was at a barbecue all weekend.
Jason told us where he had been and who he had been with, but his story checked out. He ultimately was cleared.
Now that Jolene's former boyfriend and her ex-husband are cleared, they're out of the picture, police are laser focused on that Home Depot parking lot footage. It's the shadowy image, a person emerging from the area near Jolene's SUV.
We want to know who is that figure that walks across in the darkness.
Once Jolene's vehicle is discovered, police look through it to see if there are any clues as to her whereabouts.
Breaking developments in the case of a missing Nassau County mother last seen on Saturday when she left her job at a hair salon. Today, her vehicle found in the parking lot of a Home Depot.
Earlier that day, investigators visited Jolene's workplace, Tangle's Salon, where one of her co-workers, they've been told, was the last person to see Jolene the night before Mother's Day.
You always want to know, in a missing persons case, the last person to see the victim, and that was an individual, a co-worker by the name of Jennifer Seibert.
Jennifer Seibert had been working at the Tangles hair salon for a couple of months. Jennifer Seibert did come with this air of mystery.
And they didn't have a whole lot of background information on her other than what was on her application.
What did you know of her?
I didn't know anything of her. She was just a newcomer.
Now, the very moment that investigators arrive at the salon to ask questions, Jennifer Seibert pulls up into the parking lot for her shift. But then, she does something rather suspicious.
When Miss Seibert learned that there was a detective there at the business, she immediately leaves the parking lot and does not come back and go to work.
At that moment, we're thinking, why would she not want to tell us anything about her coworker?
Yeah.
Why would she
Honestly,
leave?
at the time, I think it was more of a red flag to you than me. It was kind of a red flag, but she kind of was like, that's really, really strange.
Jennifer Seibert even tells her boss to not bother to keep her check there, that she should just mail it to a forwarding address.
Seibert also sends a text with an explanation for why she bolted. She claims she was fearful of an ex-partner. She even writes, "My ex is terrible. When it comes to him, I fear for my life."
Jennifer Seibert was not eager to speak to us and left a long, rambling telephone message telling us why she wanted to help, but she couldn't be a part of this investigation, basically because her life was in danger.
From the moment that police see the vehicle of Jolene Cummings parked in that parking lot, they are canvassing the area. They really want to know who got out of that car when it was parked.
Once we observed the surveillance video of the person exiting, we could tell which direction they walked in. The only place that would have probably been open at that time would have been this convenience store. The first camera that I picked the person up on would have been here, and you could see them walk around the building just as I did. Then they walk down, and they actually stop here for a minute and address the clerk that's standing outside on a break, and then they go ahead and enter the building.
The video from inside the convenience store is a big break. Who is it that walks in?
When I saw that, it was kind of like that hair on the back of my neck stand-up moment, because I was like, this is who I'm looking for.
The person who walks through the front door is Jennifer Seibert.
And she's dressed in all black, she's got on combat boots, and she seems really chatty with the attendant while she's there.
I conducted an interview with a store employee who was working there as well. There was a female that came into the store the other night, right here.
Yes, she said something about how she was out with a couple of friends drinking. When I tried to go back inside to go back to working, she wanted me to stay around.
He said that she was acting as if she was nervous or scared about something. She asked him to call a taxi cab for her.
We were able to capture a video surveillance that actually shows the taxi cab pull up. It pulls into a spot just over here in front of the store. You could see her enter the vehicle in the front passenger seat, and you could see the cab pull away.
We were able to not only determine who the cab driver was, but interview him. What do you recall about that person?
She was dressed in like a black workout outfit. She had black hair, had it up in a bun on her head. She didn't appear to have a purse or anything like that.
What stood out to me and the cab driver was that Jennifer Seibert had stated that she'd been out with friends that didn't have enough money for gas, but yet she had prepaid for the cab ride on a credit card.
I found that kind of odd, because if a person's prepaying $20 on a credit card, they should be able to give somebody $5 worth of gas and get a ride.
The location that the cab driver was asked to take Jennifer Seibert was of interest to detectives because it wasn't exactly where she worked, the Tangle Salon, but it was in the same shopping center.
He dropped her off by a small black vehicle, which we knew that was what Jennifer Seibert owned and drove every day to work.
At that point in time, our number one priority is to find Jennifer Seibert, who is now purposely evading us.
But there's just one major problem. Police can't find Seibert. The address on her Tangles job application isn't even real.
I went to that location, and what I discovered is that it is a non-existent address. It's a fake address. This is the fake address that Jennifer Seibert has given in her application for employment. Just nothing here. There's no residences, nothing. And it became apparent to me that this was something amiss.
Where is Jennifer Seibert? Investigators race to find her. Will they also find Jolene?
Cummings has not been seen since Mother's Day weekend, and investigative reporter Julia Janae joins us now with more. Julia?
Heather, that video that was released shows the missing SUV of Cummings being driven what appears to be Jennifer Seibert.
So once they look at that video, who walks through the doors of Gate gas station but Jennifer Seibert? And she's dressed in all black.
But so far, police have had no luck tracking down the mysterious woman. Small hair salons are known to be warm, friendly places, but at Tangles in northern Florida, the newest employee, Jennifer Seibert, didn't exactly fit in.
Everyone would talk with each other. It was just a very cozy, friendly environment to be in.
So all the hairdressers seemed to get along. And then all of a sudden, there was a new woman.
So I never really got to know her well. She was kind of standoffish.
Within a few weeks of Jennifer being there, they started to notice things that they thought were off about Jennifer, just the way she acted. She could never really give an address of where she lived.
Jolene had a lot of concern about Jennifer Seibert's background. I did an interview with Ashley Nunley, who Jolene had styled her hair the day before she went missing.
She goes, because there's something just weird. Jolene says she started wearing wigs when she first started. Jolene says she was going to look up her name and figure out what the heck was going on with her.
Knowing Jolene, she's not going to leave something alone until she gets an answer that she can believe.
It turns out the questions about Jennifer Seibert's background, her behavior, also dogged her at a previous beauty salon where she worked in nearby Yulee.
She definitely had extremes in behavior. She would be so upbeat, or if she was mad, it was almost like seething mad. If she would get mad at a client, I would see her sit there and grip the back of the chair and like white knuckle it.
My stylists were complaining that they did not want to work with her. I did find a reason to fire her. She had all her stuff packed, leaving. So I followed her out the front door and asked her for the keys back, and she took them off her key ring and she threw them at me. That was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 9 o'clock at night, she was still sitting in her car in the parking lot. That was a little bit creepy, and I actually did make sure that no one was following me home. She didn't follow me home.
The last known place that Jolene Cummings had been seen was Tangles Hair Salon. We made a determination, we need to go back to the salon.
To the naked eye, there wasn't a whole lot out of place.
Traditionally, Jolene Cummings sat in the break room at the very back by the bathroom. I was looking with my flashlight at the edge of the sink, which was perfectly clean, and as I looked down, I saw what looked to me to be a dilute blood ring.
So we had our crime scene unit go back and do a forensic examination of the entire salon with what's called either Blue Star or luminol, which creates a chemical reaction with blood, and it will fluoresce or glow. Basically, the whole salon lit up. There was blood everywhere that was obviously had been cleaned up. You could see mop marks on the floor in blood.
Now the police have this disturbing discovery of the blood spatter inside of the salon. The search for Jennifer Seibert, it becomes much more urgent.
She basically went to number one on the radar that we got to find out where she is. We did have a phone number for her that was provided on her application, so we started pinging that phone. Started looking at like beach areas where they had the showers, rest stops, different places where somebody who might not have a permanent place to live might be.
On Wednesday, we got an updated ping that said that she was in a rest area in St. Johns County, roughly 35 miles south, closer to St. Augustine.
6 detectives and myself and the 2 FBI agents went to the northbound rest stop in St. Johns County.
The rest area was under construction, and it was just confusion. Dark, semis roaring around.
When I came to the rest area on the northbound side, I saw a black Kia Soul sitting between 2 semi-trucks. I called another detective and told him, hey, I believe this is Jennifer Seibert's car.
There was exhaust vapor coming out of the tailpipe of the vehicle, so I knew it was running.
I was a little worried about approaching the vehicle because I didn't know who was in the vehicle, if they had a weapon.
I had my flashlight. I then observed an individual who was laying down in the back of the vehicle get up and slither through the 2 front seats and drop into the driver's seat. I remember repeatedly stating, do not put the vehicle in drive. She had her driver's license ready. It was Jennifer Seibert.
Once Jennifer got out of the vehicle, I identified myself to her and told her that I was investigating Jolene's disappearance. She reiterated to me that she had no idea where Jolene was at. At that point in time, I asked her, I said, you've never been in her vehicle, you have no reason to drive her vehicle? And she answered no. I knew that she was lying to me because I had her on surveillance video parking Jolene's vehicle near the Home Depot in Yulee.
Detective Harrington is heading out to a local judge's home. He's got to get an arrest warrant for grand theft auto for Jolene's SUV. But somebody has to keep an eye on Jennifer Seibert to make sure she does not bolt.
My captain informed me, he says, I want you to keep her occupied. You are not to interrogate her, just talk to her.
Well, where would you shower?
At the gym. I'm gonna take a break from body pump and just stick with the psycho classes for a while.
And the curious thing to me was she never once asked, what is this about? She never once asked, am I free to leave?
And mosquitoes a problem at rest areas?
Oh my goodness. When a mosquito bites me, it just takes probably almost an entire month for that one mosquito bite to heal.
But it's not mosquito bites on Seibert's face that are getting the attention of detectives.
She had claw marks on her face, she had band-aids on her face. It looked like to me that she had been in one hell of a fight.
Back at the station, she appears oddly relaxed and in a good mood when she's talking to officers, not the suspect of this intense missing person search.
She was very open, communicative, actually laughing, joking.
Those hurting you?
No, they feel great. You can put them on tighter if you want. Whatever you want to do.
But nobody could have guessed what would turn up in Seibert's background and just how entangled her past was.
It was bigger than I imagined.
It was like flipping a switch.
This is a woman who was reported missing by her own mother decades before this happened in 2004.
I had 2 IDs at the time. I had myself and then my other ID.
And once detectives start digging into the background of this woman, they discover she's not at all who she claims to be on a number of levels. In fact, she had been using up to 18 different aliases and had lived in over 30 cities.
No one had any idea how truly just unhinged that she was.
And there's more surveillance video of Jennifer Seibert, but will it reveal the fate of missing hairstylist Jolene Cummings?
Do you think it was a conspiracy or a lone gunman?
To me, it's a much bigger story than the Kennedy murder.
Is this mystery ever going to get solved?
Who killed JFK? Monday night on ABC.
This was the most bizarre.
Very diabolic.
Truly unhinged.
Watching Jolene's disappearance play out on TV was stressful.
Missing mother in Nassau County.
Jolene Cummings was dangerously close to discovering that Jennifer Seibert was not Jennifer Seibert.
Jolene said, there's something going on with her. I'm gonna find out.
She had stolen the dead child's information and created a false identity.
She took that name out of the cemetery.
She had 17 different names. She lived in 14 states.
How do you even wrap your mind around that?
She was an angel one second and then getting in a fight with somebody the next.
Definitely not a normal thing for a person to go and buy a carving knife in the evening of a random Friday night.
My God, what is she up to?
You think she's done this before?
There is no doubt in my mind.
She's saying that she's Kimberly Kessler, but how do we know what the truth is?
Well, it was her birthday and it was Mother's Day. And I wanted her to be reminded that she was my special blessing on a Mother's Day, a gift that no other could compete. And then text her that Saturday and, hey, did you get the angel?
And that was the last text. Ann Johnson's daughter, 34-year-old Jolene Cummings, has been missing for 4 days now, and police have found no sign of the hairstylist. They've questioned and cleared both her ex-husband and former boyfriend in her disappearance.
Crime scene detectives went to Tango Salon to look a little closer.
You could see that there had been a struggle and smears of blood all over the salon.
Now we know there must have been a big fight in that salon.
You always want to know, in a missing persons case, the last person to see the victim, and that was a coworker by the name of Jennifer Seibert.
Jennifer Seibert became the focus of the investigation after she was spotted on surveillance footage, abandoning Jolene's vehicle in a parking lot and then walking into a convenience store to call for a taxi. Detectives managed to track her down and arrest her.
The charge you were arrested on is a grand theft auto charge. You knew that, correct?
Yes.
You're not charged with anything else, okay? But something happened to Jolene.
Right out of the gate, Jennifer Seibert sits down in this interrogation room and she drops this mind twister on detectives. She tells them that her name isn't actually Jennifer Seibert.
My fingerprints, they come up as Kimberly Lee Kessler, so I would prefer to be called Kim. The last time I got picked up was back in 1999 and I bonded out.
So you've actually kind of got you've got a history under that name?
I'm ready to go back to being myself. Kimberly Lee Kessler. It's kind of a silly middle name, isn't it? It's like my mom stuttered.
So right now we were taking in who is Kimberly Kessler at this point.
I'm 50 years old. My looks are deceiving.
You have any children?
I do. I have a son. That's what got me running in 1999. Child Protective Services snatched him while I was at work from the babysitter, and that really sent me over the edge.
Then there's this next shocking moment where she tells detectives that she dated someone who was wanted by the FBI.
He robbed banks. I was working as a topless dancer, and he was with me whenever he called somebody and they said, the FBI is looking for you. And he's like, oh my God. And then he tells me everything. Oh, I robbed these banks. So I'm like, you what? And I hid him in my apartment, and that was like kind of almost the beginning.
She loved to brag about her past, and she was very proud of that.
She had been running for the past 20, 25 years and didn't want to be found.
It's a bombshell, but is it true? Are you okay if I ask my crime analyst to run the name?
Do it, please. You'll see my mug. I'll look a lot younger then. And thinner, too. I won't be 200 pounds.
Well, it's unusual when someone that is a person of interest is just joking around, acting like nothing's wrong, nothing's going on. And
during the interview, I kind of wanted to let her talk as much as she wanted to, but at some point in time, I knew I had to ask her about Jolene. Did you guys ever hang out after work? Did you ever go anywhere together? Did she ever allowed you to use your car?
No.
Her demeanor changed. She became evasive.
You accused me the other night of, you're like, where's Jolene at? So, and I do not know where she is.
I think you know where Jolene is. We're gonna find out what happened. You can help me do that.
No, I cannot. Whatever fury may come. So let me reply this way, and you may not like the answer. I would like legal counsel.
With Jennifer Seibert now refusing to talk, it's up to investigators to determine fact from fiction.
Who is she really? I mean, she's saying that she's Kimberly Kessler, but how do we know what the truth is? I mean, she's obviously very complex.
When they researched her background, they found out she was actually someone who had been reported as a missing person decades before, in 2004, by her own mother in Butler, Pennsylvania.
So detectives call Connie Kessler, who they believe to be Kimberly's mother, hoping to learn more.
We do have someone that is claiming to be Kimberly Kessler, and that is your daughter, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
The last time I heard from her was in 2004, and it was on an answering machine. She'd been having trouble with her boss, and then there was no way to get back in touch with her, so all I could do is wait.
Detectives are quickly discovering that the woman they have in custody, claiming to be Kimberly Kessler, has used a host of different aliases over the years, seemingly random names. But Connie Kessler adds yet another twist to this increasingly strange story, explaining how her daughter had allegedly picked one of those names.
She went to visit her dad at a cemetery. She picked a name off from a little girl that died near her father.
Do you know the name she picked?
Yeah, it was Pamela Bean Cleaver.
She could be anybody. So we conducted a DNA test.
The FBI actually took a DNA out of Kimberly Kessler's mother's home, and it came back that it was a match, that she was Kimberly Kessler.
Well, if that's the case, then who exactly is Jennifer Seibert? And once again, Detective Rose discovers there was an absolutely chilling answer to that question.
Found a little girl named Jennifer Seibert who was 13 years old, who had been killed in a car accident in Germany. However, she was buried in Butler, Pennsylvania. And then NCIS confirmed the Social Security number of Jennifer Seibert. And that's when we realized
She had stolen the dead child's information and created a false identity.
The night when I told her you're under arrest for grand theft auto, she almost smiled as if to say, is that all?
Police are just scratching the surface in their search for a missing mom, and now they're about to dig up a tangled tale of chaos beyond what they could have ever imagined.
I saw something about stabbing you in the leg. Can you tell me about that?
In hindsight, I should have ran.
With Jolene Cummings still missing, police are learning more about the woman they've got in custody. Turns out her name isn't Jennifer Seibert, it's actually Kimberly Kessler. And the more they unravel, the more complicated her past becomes.
Come to find out, she had 17 different names. She lived in 14 states. Very unusual for someone to have that track record and is not running from something.
During the next couple weeks, I conducted several audio interviews.
And we had to try to figure out who we actually had in our jail. So we're just trying to get whatever information we can.
We discovered a husband. She had been married. When I spoke to him, he said, I met her in Arizona. She was stripping during that time.
Well, I can tell you she's a master of disguises. She wears a lot of wigs and changes her look a lot.
You know, she did wear a lot of wigs.
Is she?
She is very exotic.
He knew her as Melissa McKernan.
So I have Melissa tattooed across my chest.
So he was kind of shocked whenever we told him, hey, you know, this is not Melissa McKernan. Her true name was Kimberly Kessler.
Oh, hell no. I was like, he don't even have a real name on his chest.
But But going back to the 1980s, Kimberly Kessler was just this small town girl living in Butler County, Pennsylvania.
Kimmy, that's what they called her. Short-haired, tomboy, cute little young lady.
So you did know her?
I guess she knew me. She was good friends with a cousin of mine. The girls would all ride horses and that together. I met her a few times through the girls. I guess she had like a little schoolgirl crush on me or something.
She has a past with other people from high school.
Kim was a year behind me in high school. I was class of 85, she was class of 86. She was a cheerleader,
Tom Sims hadn't seen her for years while he'd been in the Army, and then one day their paths crossed again.
I stopped in the bar to have a beer, and she was working. She was blonde and fit and beautiful, and we went out for drinks, and yeah.
They eventually end up dating and living together.
Can you tell me some more about her?
She's got a handful.
She wasn't a friendly person, always scheming. She was an angel one second, and then getting in a fight with somebody the next.
Was that a normal thing for her, like acting out and being violent?
Yeah.
One of her moods got me with a steak knife.
I saw something about stabbing you in the leg.
No, she stabbed me in the chest. She bit my dad in the leg.
She bit your dad in the leg?
Yes.
She attacked him, bit him on the leg. Oh, you should have seen it. It was a huge bite mark.
It was the day after she hit me with the iron piece off a gas stove.
She grabbed off, the burner and hit me upside the head with it. I think she already had her escape planned because she was gone after that. Gone.
Tom Sims says police came to the house for each violent incident. When Kessler stabbed him, when she bit his father, when she struck him with that iron grill. But he never pressed charges against her.
I probably should have. Young and naive.
But about a year later in 1990, Kessler was back, and she wants to catch up. Sims would later tell police about a troubling conversation that he says he had with her.
We had a cat. His name was Malcolm. That cat and I were very attached. She's the greatest cat in the world. I asked her, "Where's my cat?" And she's like, "Well, I couldn't take him with me, so I had to kill him."
Did she say how she did that?
She shot him with a shotgun.
I saw no empathy. I was absolutely sick to my stomach. And then she disappeared again.
Kessler has never responded to those allegations, but while Sims only knew her as Kimberly Kessler, there are plenty of others who knew her by entirely different names, including Sergeant Jim Walters back in Virginia Beach in 1999.
I knew it wasn't Christina Brooks that I was talking to, but that was the name she gave me.
It was a very bizarre situation in Virginia Beach. She lived with the father of her child, and a neighbor saw her digging in the yard with the kid in the hole, and she said it was a grave that she was digging, and she was acting very bizarrely. So the neighbor called the Child Welfare Services, and they came and took the child.
On August the 3rd, 1999, I received a call that there was a disorderly, suspicious person at Social Services, and we spoke real quickly, and I asked her to leave.
That's when we followed Christina Brooks out and stopped her on the other side of the bus stop.
Sergeant Walters says he's never forgotten what he says he discovered in her purse.
A Smith & Wesson .357 Magnum, a taser, and a roll of duct tape. We call it a kidnap kit.
Sergeant Walters arrests Christina Brooks for carrying a concealed weapon without a permit.
Found out later that she was released on her recognizance, and of course, gone. It gave me chills. My God, what is she up to?
Turns out she was up to a lot. Remember that childhood friend, David Trempis? By 2018, he was living in San Antonio when he says he got a message on Facebook from a woman in Florida.
I got a friend request from Mia Stone, and I accepted it.
She told David Trempis that she wanted to help him out. He was kind of going through a custody battle with his child.
She's real persistent. I told her, well, if I ever come down to Florida, I'd meet you. And the very next day, bam, she was here. She just got there overnight. That was kind of freaky in itself. I said, I'll meet you at the Whataburger in town. She come walking up, and she had that big black curly wig on, and it was, down over her eyes, and, it was just out of place. And she had a scar on her face.
David Trempis told police that Mia Stone claims she got the scar when her ex-husband tried to run her over. And now she wanted to move to Texas and marry Trempis.
Well, she wanted to move in with me. That's why she was up here. And I just kind of played it cool and said, it was great to meet you. And then, well, I got the hell out of there. It's time to go.
About a week later, Jolene Cummings goes missing. Not long after, Trempis says he got a call from the sheriff's office in Florida asking if he knew a woman named Mia Stone.
She also goes by the name, there's like 18 names, Mia Stone, Jennifer Seibert. Her true name is Kimberly Kessler.
That girl's name is really Kim Kessler?
Yes, sir.
She never let on to that. Her real name was Kim Kessler.
So investigators are left to wonder, had Jolene figured out Kessler's grand deception?
No one had any idea how truly evil she was.
And had Kessler retaliated by doing the unthinkable? When Jennifer Seibert first arrived in Fernandina Beach in 2018, no one had a clue about her trail of chaos and red flags over the years.
Let me tell you what, Jolene was very inquisitive, very intuitive, and when she said someone's fake, it's like, you're putting on an act, or you're not who you say you are.
So was Jolene on the verge of discovering the real story about the woman now known as Kimberly Kessler?
I believe 100% that Jolene was going to check to see who she was.
Investigators uncovered text messages Jolene had sent about the new employee, suggesting there was something off about her that she couldn't quite put her finger on. Did you get a vibe between the two of them when she was in the salon?
Yeah, Kimberly was kind of standoffish, and there was definitely some tension between them.
Well, the theory is that Jolene Cummings was dangerously close to discovering, number one, that Jennifer Seibert was not Jennifer Seibert, and number two, who she might really be.
Towards the end, it had gotten contentious to the point that they would yell at one another in front of clients. And there had been a fight in particular where the argument ended and Jolene looked at her client and said, there's something going on with her. I'm gonna find out.
I think that pushed Kim Kessler, Jennifer Seibert over the edge.
Just stand up and bend over a little bit for me.
With Kessler in custody, detectives began searching her phone.
Her phone was definitely an insight into where her mind was, leading up to the moment that Jolene went missing. Jolene goes missing on May 12th. We see Kimberly Kessler's search history starts to shift from recipes and stores and the normal things to how long does it take for a body to decay? How to hide the evidence of a crime.
It was very weird what she was searching. No body, no crime. How to dismember a body.
No one had any idea how truly evil she was, how truly unhinged that she was.
We're here in the alley behind Tangle's Hair Salon, or what used to be Tangle's Hair Salon. This was the back door to the salon.
And it's in that alley where detectives find another huge clue.
We have video surveillance from two different sources, and the dumpster behind us is visible in several of those videos.
The surveillance video shows Kimberly Kessler taking numerous large trash bags that are pretty full and pretty heavy based on the way that she's got to swing them into the dumpster behind the salon.
Her duties were not to carry out the trash, which was picked up Monday mornings. So it was unusual that after hours she would still be here.
Once detectives start piecing things together from inside of the Tangle salon and looking at the alley outside, they start to develop a theory that Jolene Cummings may have been dismembered and discarded in that very dumpster.
They processed the whole place, and there was so much blood there that nobody was going to survive that.
Investigators scan that surveillance tape, hoping for more clues, and boy, did they get one. They see Kessler driving by Tangles as though she's checking to see if the dumpsters had been emptied.
We discovered that the local waste company had actually picked up the dumpster for disposal. And at this point, she no longer drove by.
Police learned that the contents were taken to a landfill in Georgia, about 25 miles away from Nassau County.
The FBI took the lead on actually searching the landfill.
The FBI Jacksonville team's been working around the clock in support.
This landfill is absolutely enormous. We knew it was going to be a needle in a haystack, but we knew we had to try to search and see what evidence, or if Jolene herself was in that dump. It was 117 degrees, so it was miserable, but it had to be done.
It was gut-wrenching. I mean, I was in tears to know that you could be thrown away like trash when you were an amazing person.
But after nearly a week of combing through the landfill in scorching temperatures every day with no positive results, law enforcement called off the search.
Sheriff Leeper, he didn't have to say anything. His face said it all. It was a face of disappointment, of grief that we didn't find her.
Inside, this had to just be your worst nightmare.
It's a nightmare that no parent, no one that has a loved one should ever have to endure. The not knowing was the worst.
Despite not having a body or finding the remains of Jolene Cummings, the state attorney's office decides they are going forward with charges of murder against Kimberly Kessler, along with grand theft auto.
At the point that I'm coming into the case, I am focused on justice for Jolene.
With prosecutors now preparing to try Kimberly Kessler for first-degree murder, she's going to undergo yet another transformation.
Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin.
And with behavior like that, is she actually fit to stand trial for Jolene's murder?
Kimberly Kessler has been charged with the murder of Jolene Cummings. And while she's being held, let's just say she isn't exactly a model inmate.
So Jennifer Seibert was brought here, and she's booked and held in this area. What was she like as an inmate?
She was hateful, mean. She did not like us. She would do the craziest things. She actually ripped her smock off and completely got naked, started smearing feces all over herself, and it just went from there. She then decided it was a great idea to throw it at us. So we were in there dunking, diving, trying to get away from it.
At a point in time during her incarceration, she began a hunger strike, went from 170 pounds to down around 80 pounds.
But her bizarre behavior didn't stop there.
Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin.
At pretrial hearings, Kessler would disrupt the proceedings, yelling about her representation, yelling about her treatment in jail.
Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin.
Her contention was that one of her defense attorneys was cousins with Jolene Cummings.
Jordan Beard is Jolene's cousin.
But Judge James H. Daniel rules that this is false.
There was no relationship between Jordan
Beard than Jolene Cummings or anyone in Jolene Cummings' family.
Kimberly Kessler now has to watch the proceedings on a video feed from jail. And because of all that seemingly unhinged behavior, she's declared mentally incompetent to stand trial.
We had the hearing to determine whether she was mentally competent to proceed to a trial. And we presented evidence to show that she was delusional, she was mentally ill.
Kimberly Kessler had a lot of strange tendencies, and prosecutors did not believe it. They felt that she was putting on an act in order to avoid having to face the charges against her.
I actually went over there one day while she's not eating, and I wanted to talk to her, and I determined right then that she was putting on an act, trying to let everybody think she's crazy.
As time goes by, more hearings are held to make a determination as to whether Kimberly Kessler is competent to stand trial.
A judge is now weighing whether murder suspect Kimberly Kessler is mentally competent and whether she'll need to be force-fed.
At these hearings for competency, there was a psychiatrist who testified as to whether or not Kimberly Kessler could be a part of her defense and ultimately be competent to stand trial.
And you have found Ms. Kessler intelligent and strategic. Some of the things that she does are very intentional. What I mean is that her behavior is something that is thought out and organized.
Even Kessler's jailers were brought to the stand to say that they believed she was completely rational.
Was Ms. Kessler capable of communicating her thoughts and her needs to you? Yes, ma'am.
A high-profile murder suspect is competent to stand trial. That's according to doctors at a Florida hospital.
I felt like she was choosing to do this for whatever reason, and it was not the product of some mental health disorder.
Finally, after 3 long years, Jolene Cummings' family is in the courtroom, about to get their chance at justice.
Kimberly Kessler, a former co-worker of missing Nassau County mother Jolene Cummings, is charged with first-degree premeditated murder.
The trial was very much anticipated. Jolene's mother was very popular. She knew a lot of people, and a lot of people supported her. And it was a very tragic and traumatic situation for her. And the news covered it pretty relentlessly.
Just as this trial begins, it's almost immediate that Kimberly Kessler starts having her typical outbursts in the courtroom.
I refuse the public defender's office. They appointed Jordan Beard, Jolene Cummings' cousin, as my public defender. They appointed Jolene Cummings' cousin as my public defender. What, you don't want the public to know that?
She'll be downstairs as she's been through the proceedings thus far.
There are critical stages in a proceeding where the defendant has to be present. Trial would be certainly one of them. However, it's also my job to make sure that the state has the ability to prosecute a case.
The judge decides to excuse Kimberly Kessler from the proceedings, and now there's the opportunity for the state to actually get started with their opening statement.
The following evidence will establish premeditation beyond a reasonable doubt. Premeditation that the defendant planned Jolene Cummings' death. As Jolene Cummings made plans for the next day of her life, the defendant had planned Jolene's death.
Prosecutors are about to present the heart of what they insist is a pre-planned murder case. Video of a shopping trip, and what Kessler is buying will chill you to the bone.
Live at the Nassau County Courthouse, Janice, Cummings' body was never found, but the state still plans to try and prove that case.
The prosecution begins laying out their case, and it relies heavily on circumstantial evidence and surveillance video.
CSU used luminol to find evidence of the defendant's cleanup of Jolene Cummings' blood. The luminol will glow blue to indicate the presence of blood. You will see evidence of blood from the stylist chair mat nearest the reception desk through the salon to the restroom near the back door.
Prosecutors argue that after spending hours cleaning the bloody crime scene, Kimberly Kessler, known at the time as Jennifer Seibert, went to Walmart to buy a set of items that paint a truly macabre picture.
The Walmart video and receipt, which are evidence that at 8:57 p.m., the defendant used her credit card.
There is an overhead shot of Jennifer Seibert in this dark shirt, her hair pulled up into this bun. And what's most interesting is that you can see specifically what Jennifer Seibert is scanning. She's scanning a large bottle of ammonia. She's scanning rubber gloves. She's scanning a large box of outdoor style trash bags. And she's scanning an electric carving knife.
This is not Thanksgiving. What is she buying this knife for? And I'm like, oh my God, she dismembered her.
Prosecutors say that this evidence ties into what they found behind the Tangles salon.
What are we looking at here?
That is Kimberly Kessler. She was brought for the thing.
In my opinion, Jolene was dismembered in that salon. Her body was then disposed of through trash bags, through different things that Kimberly Kessler ended up throwing in a dumpster.
Prosecutors allege that there was this blue storage bin. And inside of that bin, there was even more crucial evidence.
Later on, she can be seen taking a blue Rubbermaid out. Ultimately, that tub was found by detectives, and inside of that was Jolene's blood as well as a fingernail.
Why would Kessler kill Jolene? Well, prosecutors believe it was because Jolene was on to Kessler's games. In fact, a Tangles employee took the stand with some telling testimony, what she heard on the day of the murder.
Do you remember Jolene Cummings telling the defendant, "You're fake"?
You fake, yes. I remember told you fake, go away. Like you.
Jennifer Seibert didn't want to be found out as Kimberly Kessler. That's what it appeared, based on the timing of the comment that Jolene made and when this murder happens.
But the defense insists there is no evidence of premeditation in this case, and that's what's required for a first-degree murder conviction.
I certainly submit to you that is evidence of conflict, of violent conflict. But what the state cannot offer you, what they have absolutely no proof of, are the questions that you need to decide this case. Who started the fight?
There's nothing to counter the theory that this had been a mutual combat, a fight. I mean, a physical fight between two women that ended up in one of the women dying. And that's just not first-degree murder.
The prosecution believed that they had, beyond a reasonable doubt, enough evidence to prove that this was first-degree murder.
We can see from her words, her internet searches, she'd spent at least a couple weeks somewhere premeditating the death of Jolene Cummings. From her internet searches, it's obvious that she intended to kill her. That's all the evidence you need to find the defendant's premeditation beyond a reasonable doubt.
With closing arguments done, Kimberly Kessler's fate rests in the hands of the jury.
Breaking at noon, the jury has been dismissed to begin deliberations in the murder trial of Kimberly Kessler.
It had been about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, and we got a call that said the jury's back with a verdict.
All right. Everybody, please have a seat. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Madam Clerk, please publish the verdicts.
And order versus Kimberly Kessler, aka Jennifer Marie Seibert. Verdict count 1, first-degree murder. We, the jury, found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment.
I think Anne was relieved. It brought her some closure. It was an emotional moment.
It's been a long 3 years. We miss Jolene every second of the day.
Jolene's family feels they finally found justice, But with Kimberly Kessler's trail of deception and mayhem, police have a lingering question. Could there be more victims out there?
I believe she's running from something.
It's a tale of two women, Jolene Cummings, hairdresser and mom, who disappeared on Mother's Day, never to be found, and Kimberly Kessler, also a mom, who spent years crafting multiple identities and was convicted of murdering Jolene. Now, Kessler is about to be sentenced.
Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin.
And like so many times at trial, Kimberly Kessler disrupts the proceedings and is taken out of the courtroom. Before handing down his sentence, the judge hears a victim impact statement from Jolene's mom, Ann Johnson.
When my precious daughter was murdered, others died. Our family has struggled to make some sort of semblance of life ever since.
This court will adjudicate Kimberly Kessler, defendant, also known as Jennifer Marie Cybert, guilty, sentence her to life in prison.
She's also sentenced to 5 years for grand theft auto of Jolene's vehicle, which she'll serve concurrently.
Kimberly Kessler leaving the Nassau County Jail in this white van. A deputy was seen doing a rock-on hand gesture before her departure Friday morning.
We're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate her homegoing, because her new home for the rest of her life and until she takes her last breath is going to be Florida State Prison.
What was it like for all of you when she finally was transferred after her guilty verdict?
Oh my goodness. We were so happy that she was gone. She ended up getting shipped out to prison quite quickly afterwards. We did celebrate. We had a cake. There's a picture of us.
Are you relieved that this chapter's over?
Absolutely. I'd never want to have to deal with that woman again.
With all of the strange happenings that seem to surround Kimberly Kessler, there's this notion among some that is there some other unsolved case out there?
With the information that we obtain, the number of aliases, the number of cities, the number of states, I believe she's running from something.
That's going to be law enforcement's job, to follow up and to see if there were other people that could have been victimized by Kimberly Kessler. There could always be a new connection to something that wasn't seen before.
Remember Sergeant Jim Walters, who knew Kessler as Christina Brooke back in Virginia Beach? He recently handed over information about her to cold case investigators there.
I told the deputy chief the information that I had on Kimberly Kessler, and he said, I've got 4 or 5 unsolved homicides around that area, around that time. The cold case squad would be really interested in this information.
As investigators keep an eye out for other cases that could possibly be linked to Kessler, Jolene's mom, Ann Johnson, is focused on her daughter's memory. Will you continue to want to search for Jolene?
Oh, I'll always have the hope to search for Jolene.
Occasionally, we will get calls for unidentified remains. And anytime we get that kind of call, I always have hopes that maybe it might be her.
What is the world missing not having her in it?
She was beautiful inside and out. And again, she was first and foremost a mom. And she was a great, great friend, great listener.
How do you want her to be remembered?
As the bright, shining star that she was.
Lord, guide us in these next few moments. In Jesus' name.
I had a private ceremony. It was a beautiful, small service.
Even with no remains to bury, Jolene's loved ones remember her to the tune of Amazing Grace.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
There was music at the gravesite. There was a headstone. And then my grandson asked me, Emma, why is there a headstone when Mama's not there? I said, this marks that your mother lived here on earth, that she needs to be remembered. And who knows, God's will, maybe we'll have something to put there. It's the only thing we have to live for, right? It's the hope. Without hope, what do we have?
Jolene's mom, Ann, telling me, David, that she hasn't given up on the hope of possibly finding her daughter's remains, with the hope of having a true burial after all these years.
Let's hope for her. Kimberly Kessler has filed 2 appeals since her murder conviction. Both were denied. Her life sentence carries no possibility of parole. That is our program for tonight. Thanks for watching. I'm David Muir.
And I'm Deborah Roberts. From all of us at 2020 and ABC News, good night.
दुनिया 2 दिन दी बंदा दे मौत दमाल दुनिया 2 दिन दी दुनिया 2 दिन दी बंदा दे मौत दमाल दुनिया 2 दिन दी आए कर तू कुछ ख्याल दुनिया 2 दिन दी सुल्तान भी आए बड़े बड़े सुल्तान भी आए ओढ़क जा बिच खाक समाए ओढ़क जा बिच खाक समाए आए हो गए ख्वाब ख्याल दुनिया 2 दिन दी आए हो गए ख्वाब ख्याल दुनिया 2 दिन दी दुनिया 2 दिन दी बंदा वे मौत दा माल दुनिया 2 दिन दी ऊंचे लम्हे महल बना दे ऊंचे लम्हे महल बना दे दगा फरेब ते जुल्म कमा दे दगा फरेब ते जुल्म कमा दे हाय कुछ नहीं खड़ते नाल दुनिया 2 दिन दी हाय कुछ नहीं खड़ते नाल दुनिया 2 दिन दी ओ दुनिया 2 दिन दी बंदा दे मौत दा माल दुनिया 2 दिन दी दुनिया देंदी दुख बतेरे दुनिया देंदी दुख बतेरे वीरा कोलू वीर नखेड़े वीरा कोलू वीर नखेड़े आए मावा तू विछड़े लाल दुनिया 2 दिन दी आए मावा तू विछड़े लाल दुनिया 2 दिन दी ओ दुनिया 2 दिन दी बंदा वे मौत दा माल दुनिया 2 दिन दी सुख दे सजना सारे संगी सुख दे सजना सारे संगी नस जांदे जद आवे तंगी दस जांदे जद आवे तंगी हाय कोई नहीं गम दा प्याल दुनिया दो दिन दी ओह कोई नहीं गम दा प्याल दुनिया दो दिन दी हसना रोना गम लाचारी हसना रोना गम लाचारी आज मेरी कल तेरी बारी आज मेरी कल तेरी बारी हाय कंजरी दीन मिसाल दुनिया दो दिन दी हाय कर तू कुछ ख्याल दुनिया दो दिन दी ओ दुनिया दो दिन दी बंदा बे मौत दा माल दुनिया दो दिन दी ओह कर तू कुछ ख्याल दुनिया दो दिन दी गुत वे तुड़ानी मिट्टी दा वीरा गुत तुड़ानी मिट्टी दा वीरा अपना आप संभाल बशीरा अपना आप संभाल बशीरा हाय मिट्टी मिट्टी दा माल दुनिया दो दिन दी हाय मिट्टी मिट्टी दा माल दुनिया दो दिन दी हाय कर तू कुछ ख्याल दुनिया दो दिन दी हाय कर तू कुछ ख्याल दुनिया दो दिन दी ओ दुनिया दो दिन दी बंदा मिट्टी दा माल दुनिया दो दिन दी हाय कर तू कुछ ख्याल दुनिया दो दिन दी हाय कर तू कुछ ख्याल दुनिया दो दिन दी दुनिया दो दिन दी बंदा बे मौत दा माल दुनिया दो दिन दी दुनिया दो दिन दी बंदा बे मौत दा माल दुनिया दो दिन दी हाय कर तू कुछ ख्याल दुनिया दो दिन दी बड़े बड़े सुल्तान भी आए बड़े बड़े सुल्तान भी आए ओढ़क जा बिच खाक समाए ओढ़क जा बिच खाक समाए हाय हो गए ख्वाब ख्याल दुनिया दो दिन दी हाय हो गए ख्वाब ख्याल दुनिया दो दिन दी दुनिया दो दिन दी बंदा बे मौत दा माल दुनिया दो दिन दी